Hello and welcome. For those of you joining us for the first time, my name is Sarah. I am sitting in my kitchen right now in San Diego, California, sheltering in place, keeping myself safe and the rest of my community safe from COVID-19 by not spreading and flattening that curve. Before I start my video about coding, and in this case, decision making, I like to update a little bit about something in my life that I've been doing to keep myself active, engaged, even as I'm stuck in my house. Exercise. Exercise is what I've been doing. So I walk at least once a day with my dog, but I've also been trying yoga lately. I'm kind of new to yoga, so I've been watching YouTube videos as instructionals. I've been doing it with my partner, and it's a little hard for me to do, but so far I've been doing it almost every night. I took one night off for the past week. So I'm using this as an opportunity to try something new and keep myself engaged and my brain and body active. All right, so our video today, my coworker Steven's going to talk about, as I said, decision making. At first glance, this might not seem like it has much to do with coding, but coding is entirely decision making, deciding what you're going to code, what language you're going to use, and even the exact way and methodology you're going to do as you go through it. It's a very creative process. So we're going to watch Steven go through his decision-making process. You'll notice that it looks a little bit different than maybe what you're used to doing yourself or what we talk about as decision-making, because he makes decisions like a coder. He's gotten very good at making big decisions quickly because he owns a company and has to make those big decisions as fast as possible. And we're going to see him walk through that process, make decisions like a coder. Hopefully you can learn from that, start making decisions like that as you become a stronger coder, or add that to your repertoire as a coder. I just knocked my glass. Add that to your repertoire as a coder and just use that throughout your life. All right, let's take a look at the video here.
In the last episode, I worked on building faster creative pipelines for this show, and I had some success. Before doing that, I was finishing well into the night. After one design cycle, things were already better.
All right, pausing right here, design cycle. I'll pause every once in a while adding my comments. A design cycle is exactly that. It's a cyclical process of designing and improving something, having an idea about how to improve or build something, putting that idea into practice, testing it, then coming back to that first step and making it better, having an idea for making it better, implementing it, testing it, and that cycle through.
It raises the question, though, do I take the path on the right and do another cycle, or do I pick the one on the left? This episode has 5 parts. If I had to name them, I'd pick crossroads, left, right, dilemmas, and decision. In this 5-minute episode, we'll use an old trick that every chess player knows. Before you make a move, you imagine your options in as much detail as possible. So, in the left minute, we'll try to get concrete about what I would do if I were to take the left path. And in right, we'll try to get concrete about the other path. Then we'll see if that exercise in clarity makes the dilemma any easier. In the last minute, I'll discuss my path forward.
All right, let's go back a moment here just so we can see that clearer. So just pointing out, this is not really linear, because it starts 1 will be our first part, which we just finished, 2 over here, 3 over here, back down to 4, and then up to 5. Now, it's an important thing I'm going to point out here, what he says, well, every chess player knows. However, this is something that a lot of us practice, maybe not as intentionally as chess players, though. What we're going to see Steven do is really imagine what he would do on each of those paths to make a more informed decision. Rather than just choosing between 2 abstracts, he's actually gone through the process of visualizing, well, if I go down this path, I will do A, B, C, D, E. If I go down this path, I'll do X, Y, Z. This is something that can come in handy throughout our lives, and we do a lot, whether that's a big decision like what career path you're going to take, and you start imagining what that would look like, what your life would be like, and how you'll spend your time, maybe where you'll be working, or something as simple as, what do I want for dinner? You start imagining, do I feel like having pizza or pasta? You kind of imagine both of those things. Humans have incredibly powerful imaginations, and we use it to help us make big decisions, just like these. All right, so this next part, we're going to see the plan. Stephen's going to go through this left. What exactly he would do if he made a choice. Okay, I'm not going to make this pipeline any faster. I'm going to start working right away on battling this COVID-19 problem. Let's see what his plan is for that.
As much detail as possible. Path. Then we'll see. I would make flyers with QR codes on them. Each would have a brief call to action, like, "Stay connected, San Diego." The QR code would link to a website with a message that explains that staying connected is crucial. It would ask people to join a Facebook group that I would create. And then I would just wait and see how many people joined. Connecting people provides value to anyone who isn't already connected on platforms like Nextdoor.
All right, connecting people provides value. In this time where we're being really distant and stuck in our houses, connection is extremely important. Doing this intentionally is important. I don't know about you, but I've been making extra time in my day to reach out to people that I'm close to, video chats and like that. But also don't forget about your neighbors, people who work in the coffee shop down the street. These are people we're used to interacting with that we don't interact with as much anymore or even at all. So Stephen's talked about doing this very intentionally.
And the more digital connectivity, the better. This also will give me a pool of early adopters for any other systems I might build. Those with a business background may notice that I'm using an idea called a sales funnel. Of those who see the QR code, some of them won't scan, but some will. Of those seeing the website, some won't join my group, but some will. And on Facebook, some won't provide value to others, but some will. I can build this value funnel. Frankly, so could you.
All right, let's take another example. He says, so can you. This is something that's really, really clear, steps down a process. Let's imagine it in a different way, a more typical sales production perhaps. Let's say you have an app. You build an app. You might have something like ads that are on Google or on the App Store. You pay for that. And of the people who see the ad, some people will think that's interesting and go forward and some won't. Then you have people in the app. It's a free app. And then say you have a free trial of a subscription package. Some people will take that, some people won't. And of the people who take that free trial, some of them will go on to purchase the subscription package and some of them won't. The idea is you don't get everybody, but by the time you reach that point of the funnel, you get enough people that it is of value. All right, let's go on and check out in this next part, Stephen's going to walk through what that right path would be, which is if you were not to go directly right away to the COVID-19 problem and were to go and speed up this pipeline more, what exactly that would entail. So first he's going to walk through a little bit of his creative process here so we get a better idea of it, and then he's going to talk about what he would do next.
To get an idea of my creativity pipeline, imagine an episode that's only 5 seconds long. For my audio, I might say, this short episode is just 1 sentence long. Oops, I lied. Then for the illustration, I might start with 1 second of blank paper, then draw a camera to represent the episode, then I might label the camera with the number 1, then I might add the word sentence, and so on. For each piece of audio, there might be an MP3 file. Let's just say they're all 1 second long. For the video, I might have 1 second of blank paper. That's easy. But my illustration of the camera would be as long as it takes me to draw and color in a camera. Let's say that's 2 seconds. Ideally, I would feed my whole...
All right, let's pause right here for a second. So Stephen walked through what his process is for making the video. He doesn't make 5-second videos, he makes 1-minute videos, but he shrunk it down, gave us an idea. But it wasn't just for our help, it also helps him when he's going to think about what am I going to do next. It's better to think about something specific. What am I going to do if I do this? What will this look like? Rather than just a vague idea of, these episodes that I make. So now I'm going to go back just a hair so we can talk about what that process would be like, what he expects to improve it.
But my illustration of the camera would be as long as it takes me to draw and color in a camera. Let's say that's 2 seconds. Ideally, I would feed my whole project folder into my code, and out would pop the XML for me to edit in Shotcut. But with my video automatically sped up or slowed down as necessary, that would save me hours of hand editing.
I'm going to break this down a little bit here to exactly what he's talking about for myself and hopefully for you. What Stephen is saying is right now he has to, part of his editing process is hand bringing in all of these clips and all these audio pieces and organizing them and speeding them up and slowing them down and editing them. What he's hoping with this code that he would write is that he could, some of it he didn't say here. He did say speeding up and slowing down, but he also could put it in order and have them in the right sort of configuration, matched up the right way, and that saves him all that time of dragging and dropping and adjusting and moving and connecting that happens for anybody who's ever done some video editing. You know how that process can just like take up so much time. So it's not that the code will do all of the work for him, but it will give him such a head start and make its best guess at what he wants, and then he only has to fix things as opposed to having to create it from scratch. All right, so that's the last part of this video. We're going to move on to, in the next video, we're going to go through that dilemma and discussions, dilemma and decisions sections, and we're also going to go through a little bit of process on for ourselves, do some coding and things like that. So see you in part 2.